For me, the first thing I do when I find out where we're going is I'll start YouTubing like bridge jumping spots and like I just go cliff jumping Maine.
That's perfect. Oh, perfect. Holy
Welcome to
shit,
Maine.
dude. Holy shit.
Wow, nice.
That is insanely fucking good.
My name's Josh Rosen. I'm the host of Dirt.
I'm Kate West. I'm director of Huckberry Presents, and I'm the director and producer of Dirt, our original series rooted in adventure, travel, and food.
Kate explained it really well. She says she's PBS and I'm Fuel TV. Combining our energies is Dirt.
Wow, nice. All right.
We usually have some idea of where we're going, but with Maine, we've known for a while.
Ben O'Mara, who's our chief brand officer, has been encouraging me to go to Maine since day one. It's where he's from. He loves it. It's inspired a lot of the brand DNA, and it's always nice to have Ben on set, just like a friendly face. And he can speak to Maine so eloquently and connect the dots between the Huckberry brand and Maine. We sort of explored either going really far north, almost to the Canadian border. We also explored going sort of more inland, but we found that where there were so many characters and textures that we wanted to capture was more the mid-coast. So that's the region we focused on.
It's one of those places that I think has a preconceived idea as to what it is or the energy, but I knew immediately that we were going to dig deeper and find some incredible stories in the people in Maine.
Yeah, do that. Flip them around a little bit like that.
In the rock.
The people of Maine, more so than almost anywhere I've been in the United States, are doing like hard work.
I mean, you do get like the wash up stuff, you know?
The cliche is that it's vacation land, right? But we tried to sort of avoid that cliche and really dig into the locals who are like sort of keeping the lights of vacation land on, right? One of the things was sort of this nostalgia component about Maine. Not that they're stuck in the past, but it's just a step back in time.
When I get into something, I want to learn how to build it, but then I want to learn the history and all that kind of stuff too.
Beautiful.
And so that was sort of a thread that I kind of set out to pull on as we were shooting.
Yeah, so then that gets all shaken up and goes down into the neck. That's the idea.
Wow, that's lovely.
We were up early every single day to capture that amazing Maine light, going out on a boat of some kind. You know, we went on lobster boats, scallop boats, sailboats, ferries. 3 to 4 characters a day with 2 to 3 activities spliced in. So we were running around like maniacs.
Oh, that was nice.
It was August, so it's summertime. People are like at the end of a long summer experience, so they're in a good mood. I have to imagine if we had gone in December, after it had been, dark and cold for months and months, it would have been a different energy, but the energy was sort of summer celebratory, which was really nice. Oh, thank you.
Well, so one was like Hurricane Erin was barreling up the coast when we were there, so we had to pivot the production a bit.
We knew there was a hurricane possibly gonna like really do some damage, or it was gonna be a light breeze, and we got something in the middle, but it was exciting because it meant that waves were coming.
We were supposed to go deep sea fishing for bluefin tuna, and instead we went surfing, and I went boogie boarding, which was super fun. Raincourt was an exciting stop on the journey. It was like the furthest in we went.
It's got, one, an incredible history
which I've always appreciated. Like the textile and shoemaking, this was the shoemaking capital of the country for many, many years.
Talk to me, guys. This is beautiful.
Ben's friend who we visited at Raincourt, there was so much pride in his work, and it was so beautiful.
The other thing that's really important to us as a manufacturer is the type of material we use for soles. So this is all 100% natural latex, no chemicals whatsoever, 100% rubber latex.
Huckberry's connection to Raincourt speaks to Huckberry's connection to manufacturing and their dedication to build high quality, hardworking, like tough stuff that'll last a long time. And you go to Raincourt and you get to see it firsthand.
The Maine and Huckberry connection, and Maine being a part of Huckberry's DNA, was really relevant to this episode. It was part of the vision board day one of Huckberry. So revisiting it now, 15 years into the brand story, was really exciting.
Huckberry for me is just solid staples. Wax trucker, always. That's pretty much my standard.
I mean, I think that's one of the cool things about Huckberry, right? Is like, we're in this creative vertical in media, and then there's also these creatives that live in the product space, and we can both simultaneously be inspired by the same place.
Starting foundationally, asking people about themselves on a really simple level is a way to open people up just with sort of blind curiosity. Just wanting to know sort of the fundamental pieces, which will almost exclusively lead deeper and deeper into sort of the intimate pieces of what people do.
I'm like very, very particular about like making sure that I don't take any more than just the capping.
There was one scallop farmer, this guy Marston. He really was everything that Maine represented. It was a steward of the land, which we saw a lot of. Like, Maine is pristine, right? And they don't really advertise it. It's just sort of part of that DNA, is just taking care of the place that they love. And although he was dedicated to sort of the past and the traditions, he was also exploring aquaculture and really realistic about the changing water temps and environments. So that was really, really, really interesting.
No, I think constants change.
I think my favorite ingredient, like in terms of just like the freshest and the most delicious, were these scallops that we got. Like, they were just so good, straight out of the water, raw. It was like breakfast. These were all scallops, and it was delicious.
My experience growing up of finding food, which was very important in my family, was my dad from New York City, who moved to Seattle and just wanted to harvest anything he could. He was so excited, but he had no practical information about how to do it. In that is the adventure for me. I don't even care really if we get anything. It's more about just going to find it and discovery along the way. Finding clams was that. Someone told us at like a corner store that there was a beach that might have these clams, and we just headed out, and it was, the mud was knee deep, and we probably were in the wrong spot.
I sent Josh to the water's edge to look for it, because that's what we do up in Massachusetts. These were different clams. These were buried deep in the mud flats, and you follow like a little bubble. Like you see a little bubble, and then you dig in. Like 2 hours later, he'd gotten like 10, because it was like the wrong place to look. I just started digging in, and there were just tons of clams right there. So that was a nice feeling.
And then eventually we did find clams, but it took, hours and hours of just searching around. And for me, that's the adventure. That's the best part.
Clams.
I think it plays in the episodes, but it's real. We're so involved in gathering the ingredients and then the people that we're meeting along the way with those ingredients that you almost sort of forget that there's this thing that happens at the end that's a culmination of those things. And I think all of us are always sort of surprised when we empty out the coolers, because as we're going, we're just layering the coolers with ingredients that when we pull them out, we're all sort of reminded of these experiences we've had. And then we see them and we're like, oh yeah, that was epic, right? Like, that was such a journey.
The chef is this guy named Christian, born and raised in Maine. He definitely speaks through his food. Like, it's so beautiful, the food he cooks.
The ingredients on this one were fresh and big, and the chef did this incredible job. And it might have been the fact that we were on a schooner in this bay eating, and he cooked on this open fire stove on this scooter, but it was one of the best, for sure.
The final feast was one of the best meals I've ever eaten in my life. Like, it was so beautiful and colorful and intentional. Like, that's such a narrative of the East Coast, right? There's so much tradition, as you know, there. And I think Maine particularly, with its themes of, again, like nostalgia, stewardship, and the intentional preservation of the culture.
In retrospect, after we'd done everything, we were sort of recognizing that it was a safe space for people to craft or build or create in ways that were like historically relevant, but arguably aren't relevant now or in our current culture. But there, it's celebrated and it's supported.